But at the moment, it is Brian Bateman in the lead of this race in the 83 car. And it's not a bad looking car. Like, this is actually one of the cars that I really rate as far as paint schemes go. It's nice and it's simple. It's black with the silver trim down on the bottom of the car. It just looks nice and classic, Brian.
Yeah, it's definitely a simple looking paint scheme, reminiscent of Dale Earnhardt Sr. with the black. You know, you see that black car coming up in your rear view, you know, you better watch out.
That's exactly right. He wasn't the Intimidator for nothing. But at the moment, he is going to be in the lead of this race. Derek Runge has re-overtaken second. Chandler's sitting in third, and he is only just in front of James Binning in that 333 car. And Runge has a 3-second as Jonathan Hernandez comes out and takes the lead. Oh, we got lots of stuff going on here. Oh my god, there is death everywhere. Everyone got tight and have just gone up and slammed the wall. Boomerang shoes in that one, Jordan Lee. A lot of people just getting very tight there on the corner exit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Richmond Raceway for the final race of the regular season here in the Output Racing League, the Autism Awareness 140 from the Richmond Raceway. That's right, just like in real life, we're ending our season off with one of the shortest tracks on the schedule here at Richmond. And if I'm not mistaken, we've got most of the drivers on pit lane awaiting a pit party here. Just 2 cars left on track. That's Chris Champeau and Jonas Marquez. But I think Jonas has just pulled in on the back straight. And there goes Chris having a crash coming out of turn 2. So we should be seeing drivers starting to come out onto the track now. Of course, this is the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. I am your commentator, the Aussie Sim Commentator. And right now we have 15 people in this session, 14 drivers, including myself as the commentator, with a strength of field of a 28-10. As Jonathan Hernandez tries to do the shot out of a cannon. Like we're going to go 2 laps around before we get the green. Alright, looks like we're going to have 50 of Christian Budd off the pole, the 60 of Kyle Kraus on his outside. 42 is Frank Isaacson and the 66 of Sam Niederhelm, Travis Massia and the 64 of Jonas Marquez. We do actually have a Jaron Sanchez racing again tonight. That bloody time. They're often racing here for the pit party. Cars go 3 wide. There's a tap from the 23 of Lizelle and drama at the back of the pack. Multiple cars involved. James Watson, got the 5 of Mark Pentecoff involved as well. I think the 64 of Jonas Marquez also caught a piece of that. Looks like Travis Massia having some trouble on his own.
Re-racking, let's try it again.
As I forgot to mute the driver audio. Sounds like they're going to be re-racking, stacking and trying it again. There's still just 3 cars left on track. Make that 2 now as one Mr. Frank Isaacson has met the wall. So make sure we got all the current paints for everyone. You'll probably see everyone flash into a white car for a brief second. And pink and yellow car. Got nerds all over it. It's a shame because I thought he'd have Avril Lavigne. 78 of Brian Pisakemi. Six of Sam Niederhelm slotting in behind him. Everyone trying to jockey the position. So it looks like we're going to have Travis Massia off the front. On his outside, the 60 Carl Kraus, Thomas Harmon, Christian Budd, Jonathan Hernandez, and James Watson starting outside that third row. And here we go. Hernandez got such a good start there. He gave Thomas Harmon a shot coming out of turn 4. Already Chris Champeau loose and into the turn 1 wall. Sounds like more shenanigans along the back straight. Thomas Harmon has gone around. There's Frank and Watson, Isaacson and Watson doing some synchronized reverse swimming there on a back straight. So this could be a night of chaos. I know these guys will improvise, adapt and overcome as Christian Budd has made a mistake. Again, not very often you see Christian making mistakes. Mark Pentecoff having some issues on the back straight. At the exit of the corners. Entry and exit of the corners are going to be our big talking points here in this race, by the looks of things. The front brake discs absolutely glowing on Sam Niederholm's car there. It looks like we're going to do another pit party. Obviously, the Drivers' Council are feeling that these guys need to learn to drive in a pack a little bit better. This time Kyle Kraus to be inside front row. Like the 50 of Christian Budd's going to be outside front row. Waiting on some more people to just file up the inside line here. Here comes Thomas Harmon. Going to be Thomas Harmon. Then the 13 of Travis Massia, the 66 Sam Niederhelm, 39 of James Watson. Alright, so here we go for the next pit party. They're off and racing. Oh, bit of bumper run there from Chris Champeau onto James Watson. Just moving him up out of the way. Oh, the 5 and a 64, Mark Pentecoff, Jonas Marquez. Oh, sorry. That's the 15, Ken Campbell, sorry. Campbell and Marquez having some issues going into turn 3. And a little bit of bumper cars there. Thomas Harmon's gotten loose coming out of 2. And that's caused a pile up. Mark Pentecoff is indeed involved in this one. And around goes the 13 of Travis Massia. There's some more loose units all over the track at the moment. As there's more crashing and bashing there for John Lazelle. That was a nice move up the inside of Pisacemi from Frank Isaacson. Frank now going on the defensive. Pisacemi tries to get him back. Pisacemi seemingly with a little bit of front end damage maybe. Frank experimenting with some alternate dimensions. Thomas Harmon in the background behind these two getting loose. Frank was getting loose out of the corner too. Here goes Brian and there goes Frank. And they both kept going. A little bit of a shove from Frank onto Brian because he didn't appreciate that. These guys are probably just doing it in a bit of jest for good fun. James Watson having some issues coming out of turn 2. Kyle Krause also clapping the wall out of 4. And there goes Krause. Sideways 2 there for Chris Champeau coming out of turn 4. Frank with a nice easy move on Mark Pentecoff there going into turn 1. Like most of the drivers are actually in the pits right now. Only about 10 on track. Please, 5 in the pits actually, so most of the cars are on track, my apologies. Oh, Stan Niederhelm having an issue on the back straight. Managed to keep it off the wall. We have just over 12 and a half minutes left in practice now. These guys will be seriously starting to think about maybe doing some practice qualifying runs. So someone down there on the bottom side of turn 3 trying to do something. Someone just blew up. There was an impact. Oh, and around goes Pisakemi on the front stretch. And just keep it going, no? And then sideways again once more coming out of turn 2. But Hernandez getting in some trouble there with Marquez. Christian Budd, Thomas Harmon battling it out now. These guys will be testing the side-by-side rate of these cars. We're now just under 10 minutes to go. Oh! Kraus stuck in the middle of the track. Pentecoff nowhere to go. Was also left Budd and Harmon nowhere to go. Looks like most people off the track again, so we're probably getting ready for another pit party. And indeed we are. Just looking at the way that some of these guys are lined up at the end of pit lane. Now it's going to be Kraus, Bud, Massia, Lozelle, Champo, and Watson as your top 6. So Lozelle's dropping back. Brings Watson up to 4th and Marquez up to P6. Alright, here we go. Here Travis Massey getting up into the fence there in turns 1 and 2. Oh, and around goes Massia. Oh, Frank got into him. And Pentacuff got into Frank. That Lozelle's holding a fairly solid line there as Thomas Harmon got no wrong coming out of the second corner there. Right now, your top 5 here in practice: Christian Budd, Brian Pizzakemi, Kyle Kraus, Chris Champo, and Travis Massia. Christian Budd with 21.659. Definitely nothing to be slouched about as Jonathan Hernandez gets it wrong. And then Brian Pizzakemi straight up aimed for him. See the 13 of Travis Massia trying to do the same and epically fail. As we have just 3 minutes now left in practice. should be good enough for about 9 laps for these guys. Maybe 8. The time keeps ticking down, getting closer and closer to qualifying for the ever important final race of the regular season. Kyle Kraus practicing the pit entry, very smart decision. What a lot of these guys should be doing. Oh, Lozelle getting a little bit loose coming out of turn 2. Christian Poe in front got very loose coming out of turn 2. Now we are in the final minute of practice, which means only one thing. That is, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be seeing the results of qualifying. So make sure you guys stay tuned. More action from the Autism Awareness 140 right here from the Richmond Raceway. Coming up very shortly right here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Richmond Raceway for the Autism Awareness 140 right here from the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. Qualifying has been complete, and of course, as always, Christian Bud going to be sitting on the pole with a 21.631. P2 is going to go the way of Chris Champeau in the 2 car. He was just 0.168 behind the time set by Christian Bud. P3 goes the way of Jonathan Hernandez in the 88 car. P4 the way of Carl Kraus in the 60. P5 went to the 39 of James Watson, with P6 the 23 of John Lazelle. P7 is the 5 of Mark Pentecoff, with P8 the 24 of Frank Isaacson. P9 is the 13 of Travis Massio, with P10 and the last possible qualifying position for the Hard Charger Award being the 38 of Thomas Harmon. And we got P11, which is the 15 of Ken Campbell, and Brian Pizzacchemi on his outside. And then we will have Jonas Marquez out of 13th, with Sam Niederhelm 14th, and Jaron Sanchez looking like he's not actually in the server anymore. 16 people in the race, well, in the server, with 15 people racing. Strength of field is a 28.35. Here to tackle 140 laps of the Richmond Raceway Oval. Drivers go around the track 2 laps on the pacing lap, just to make sure everyone is caught up and in the field. Pace car goes in.
Go.
And
Green
we
flag.
are off and racing. Already you can see Christian Bud pulling off to a big lead. But Chris Champeau did try and fight on the outside. He's gone too deep. He's probably going to lose out on second now to the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez. But he doesn't. He manages to hold on to the second using the momentum of that higher line. Looks like our top 4 breaking away here a little bit from the rest of the pack. Oh, as Hernandez gotten loose, and he's brought out the first caution of the race just for getting a little bit loose. We don't need to see that one again because we saw that one completely live and on screen. But yeah, Jonathan Hernandez getting loose there. And bringing out the first caution. He's actually dropped it all the way down to 7th from that. He lost 4 positions from getting that loose in the corner. Pace car picks up the front of the pack. First caution on lap number 2. Our order at the moment going to be Christian Budd, followed by Chris Champeau, Kyle Kraus, James Watson, John Lizelle, Mark Pentakoff, Jonathan Hernandez, Frank Isaacson, Travis Massio, and Thomas Harmon in 10th. And not very much positional change besides Jonathan losing 4 positions, Kraus, Watson, Lizelle, and Pentakoff gaining 1 each. Pretty sure the lights are going to go out on the pace car this time round. Everyone already starting to get into somewhat of a formation. And it looks very clear here that Christian Budd is going to choose the inside line. Jonathan Hernandez has now pitted. The lights still remain on the pace car, so we're going at least one more time around. Everyone definitely starting to get into an order now. Everyone except for our top 2 has gained position since the start of this race. And of course, Jonathan Hernandez, who's just lost all of his position. There we go, the lights are out on the pace car. Everyone is ready to pound. Pace car goes in. And Christian Budd jumps very early, and you can see wheel spin from the 2 of Chris Champeau. That's going to allow Kyle Kraus to get right up there into 2nd. And John Lizelle up into 3rd. Entire outside lane stalled out a little bit because of the wheel spin from the 2 of Chris Champeau. Frank Isaacson trying to take advantage as well. He's moved his way up into P6 now. There's Thomas Harmon just behind him, sitting in 7th now. Also the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi looking to make some moves. Go back up to the front of the pack real quick. And look at the lead that Christian Budd is already amassing over the rest of the field, keeping on board here. That is 2 seconds already. Now we're going to go have a look at the 60 of Kyle Kraus. Entrenched in battle here with the 23 of John Lizelle and the 2 of Chris Champeau. Looks like John Lizelle went a little bit wide. Going to open up for Chris Champeau to come back through. And the move has been made. Chris Champeau now back up into 3rd. Kyle Kraus has gotten away from these 2 a little bit though. Got 1.5 second gap over Chris Champeau. Chris using that higher line for a little bit more momentum out of the corner. Let's go and keep an eye on things through the field here a little bit. There's the 38 of Thomas Harmon, who's in P6. Got Dana Ken Campbell just back here as well. He's looking for the inside move on Frank, who has been slipping up very high the last couple of laps. Oh, and there's contact in the back. That's the 66 of Sam Niederholm. And I think he's blinked. I think that was also the 88 Jonathan Hernandez. There's Hernandez. That might not have been. Might have been the 64 actually. Jonas Marquez was. There he is. And yeah, it's not letting me click on Sam Niederholm there in the 66. Oh, there we go. Now it does. See left side damage there from where they made contact. Let's go back to looking at Frank here for a second. He's got the 88 Jonathan Hernandez who's just gone around him. Hernandez trying to fight back after having that little looseness earlier. Back up to the very front of the pack. Well, almost the very front of the pack. With Chris Champeau battling it out with John Lozelle. This is for the third position. John Lozelle's really come on in these cars, especially on the short tracks. And of course he's been there or thereabout in the 1.5 tracks and above. But he's really been shining lately in these short track races, in these cars. Let's go back in and check in on the 38 of Thomas Harmon. Trying to make a move on the 39 of James Watson. Watson going very wide, allowing both Harmon and Puzakemi through. Harmon up 5 from where he started, Puzakemi up 6. I heard contact somewhere. Not sure where that contact would have been though. Maybe from the 13 of Travis Massey, who's just lost the position to Jonathan Hernandez. like things are just kind of going easy here. We keep an eye on James Watson, who is now losing position to Jonathan Hernandez. Hernandez back up into 8th. James Watson, who hasn't been a slouch, definitely looking to try and improve on his position as well. So he is down 4 from where he started. Things definitely seeming pretty calm right now. Some would almost say quiet, as there's little bits of phantom contacts here and there and everywhere. Still looking at Jonathan Hernandez. We've got the camera set to focus on crashes. I'm hoping that'll take us towards exciting bits on track rather than just crashes. Of course, since Hernandez brought out the first caution, cameras decided to pop onto him. Ooh, some of these guys looking a little bit unsettled though, coming out of turn 2, including Hernandez, who I would assume is on slightly fresher tyres than everyone else. Looks like the 50 of Christian Budd already encountering lap traffic. Gotten around the 5 of Mark Pentacuff, who was the first car to go a lap down now. There's Ben Campbell in the 15 and P7. He's starting to look like he's getting a little bit of this opportunity as well. Sometimes it can be a very snappy loose that comes off the turn 2. Really tight. And you got so much wheel into it that when it grips, it just snaps rear end around. And for those playing at home who don't know, tight is when the front wheels don't want to do what you're telling them to do, and the loose is when the rear tyres want to try and pass the front tyres. Speaking of tight, looks like Jonathan Hernandez might have lost a little bit of time there, getting a little bit tight on the exit of turn 2. Already a huge lead amassed by Christian Budd, 12 seconds is the gap first to second. There is our second place man now, Kyle Kraus. Back to Ken Campbell and back to Kyle Kraus. Can't tell which one's which because they're both red and white. One's Campbell's and one is Six-Pack Inspired livery. That's Six-Pack the movie, not the beer. Mark Pentecoff wisely getting out of the way for our second and third place drivers there. Christian Poe right on the tail of Kyle Kraus. Not one to let him go quietly. This could be an interesting little battle forming. Thomas Harmon fighting his way through the field, getting underneath Mark Pentecoff himself. Christian Poe has moved up into second. Thomas Harmon now trying to chase down Kyle Kraus. Donald Zell also moving past the lap down car. Look, the 15 of Ken Campbell trying to make a move on Brian Pizzicami. This is the battle for 6. Not quite work out. Jonathan Hernandez in this battle now too. Here. Some would say hashtag pockets of excitement. There's really no catching our leader. He is absolutely gone skis out of here. I'm kind of getting vibes of Bristol all over again. They put everyone 2 laps down. But before we get too excited, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going until we see some green flag pit stops. Make sure you guys stay tuned. And we are back on lap 55 of 140. Got 3 cars a lap down now. Got this awesome little battle pack here. Consists of James Watson, Brian Pizzakemi, John Lizelle, and Jonathan Hernandez. It looks like Lizelle just lost out in this battle. Gonna drop all the way down to P8. Looks like the 13 of Travis Massio wanting to join in on this battle as well. He's starting to carve his way through. I think he must have been saving tyres. Look at how quickly he's getting through these guys. I mean, at least how quickly he's getting through John Lizelle anyway. Lizelle might have burnt off his tyres a little bit. I think Travis Massio might have saved his slightly. Right now, Thomas Harmon has made his way into the second position. That happened during the commercial break. We're still focused on this little battle here. Brian Pizzakemi is trying to look for a way around Jonathan Hernandez, but that is going to be a very hard overtake to make. The tyres should have evened out by now. Not that there would have been very much difference in them anyway. Pizzakemi's tyres has one more green flag lap on him than Hernandez. And Christian Budd has lapped everyone outside of the top 10. In fact, everyone now outside of the top 10 has gone a lap down. Jonas Marquez being the latest victim. So, just heard someone getting right up close and personal with the wall. There's the 60 Kyle Kraus, who has dropped down to 5th. Make that P6 now, possibly going to fall all the way down to P8. It looks like he has burnt out his tyres quite a bit here. 13 Travis Massey getting onto the apron for some extra turning going into turn 3. And Kraus does indeed drop down to 8th. We're nearing the halfway point now. These guys will have to be starting to think about tyre strategy. Not so much fuel strategy, because the fuel is usually pretty good around these short tracks. But tyres is usually where it is all at. It looks like the 13 of Travis Massey definitely wanting to get into this battle, so I think he's definitely been saving tyres a little bit towards the back of the pack. Starting to use them up a little bit now as we reach lap 65 of 140. I've made that 66 now. Almost 67. Our leader is that far in front of everyone. Chris Champeau in 3rd here, just in the middle of heavy lap traffic. As both those lapped cars get out of his way so he can get a nice passage through. But even now, he's lost 7 seconds to the second place Thomas Harmon. Oh, and there's contact.
Safety
And we have a caution. Go back and have a look at this. So Frank coming in with a very aggressive angle into the corner. It looks like he might have just overcooked it a little bit. Comes up the track, you see he's still off throttle. A little bit of a right rear feeding to Mark Pentecoff, who had the brakes absolutely slammed on. Nothing he could do there. And he comes to a stop and brings out the second caution of this race. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break now. When we come back, we are going to see how the pit stop cycle here is going to unfold, because I'm pretty sure everyone is going to be coming into pit. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Autism Awareness 140 right here from the Richmond Raceway. And the 50 of Christian Budd was the first one in and the first one out of the pits. On his outside will be the 38 Thomas Harmon. James Watson sitting in third with Jonathan Hernandez fourth. The 2 of Christian Poe will be restarting fifth. Travis Massia P6. P7 is Ken Campbell. P8 Brian Pizzacemi. And then Frank Isaacson, Kyle Kraus, John Lazelle. First 3 cars a lap down in 9th, 10th and 11th. As there's still a couple cars in the pits, including the 68. Actually, no, it's the 66 of Sam Niederhelm and the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. We're getting set to go green here once more. And we're off and racing.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
Of course, the 50 of Christian Budd getting a big breakaway here, as the 2 lap cars have actually just now started coming out of the pits, so they're probably going to be in the way straight away. A couple of cars getting loose in the pack. I saw 24 Frank Isaacson getting very loose. Looks like he's gathered it up. No foul. No damage, no foul. We go back up to our leader, the 50 of Christian Budd, as he's already negotiating lap traffic, which, as I said, just came out of the pits. gets around that lap car very easily. Thomas Harmon now has to deal with the lap car of Mark Spencer. And Mark's getting well and truly out of the way for everyone, which is awesome to see. There's the ADO, Jonathan Hernandez as well. Oh, I hear some biff and barge and bungle. We have another caution on track. There's the 15 of Ken Campbell. Let's see what happened to Mr. Campbell. So this is going through turns 3 and 4, I think. And what happens? Yes, this is coming out of turn 4. Does he get loose? He does get loose. He overcorrects it. Oh no, John Lizelle, nowhere to go. The 60 of Kyle Kraus, nowhere to go. Bing, bang, whammo. All three of them into the wall though. But these two will escape with the damage that they've got on their cars. It's unfortunate, the 64. Jonas Marquez sneaking through that with no damage. You see Kyle Kraus coming into the pits. So now your order is going to be Christian Budd, Thomas Harmon, Jonathan Hernandez, Chris Champeau, James Watson, Travis Massia, Brian Pizzakemi, Ken Campbell. Actually, Travis Massia is in the pits, so James Watson 5th, Brian Pizzakemi P6, and Jonas Marquez will be 7th. So I'm pretty sure he's just gotten a wave around, so it'll be Travis Massia, Ken Campbell battling it out over 7th and 8th, and Jonas Marquez in 9th. Last car on the lead lap for John Lizelle. First car 1 lap down, and then Frank Isaacson in 11th. The lights are still on the pace car, so we've still got at least one more revolution to go. But by the way, everyone is starting to line up. I think we might be on the 2 to go now. There we go, the lights are out on the pace car. We're going to get our 1 to green this time. Which also means, when we get the green flag, we're going to go crank it up. Because we haven't done one of them yet. Right, here we go. The pace car is in. And it's time to crank it up.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
Alrighty, we are back. As we kind of half saw there, towards the back of the pack, there was some biff, barge, bango, as everyone went a little bit El Loco. The residual damage on Kyle Kraus from earlier. I think the 64, Jonas Marquez, caught the worst of it during that restart. In fact, it might have been John Lazelle that caught the worst of it. He's still right out the very back. Has a very bent looking car. Have a look a little bit further up. There's the Ken Campbell car, number 15. The Jonas Marquez on his tail. There's the 13 of Travis Massey. He's got James Watson right behind him. And go to 2 of Christian Poe, who is trying to chase down the 38 of Thomas Harmon. Who's trying to chase down our leader, Christian Budd. Let's go back to focusing on crashes now. I'm actually surprised these guys were skilled enough that they could crash without bringing out a caution flag. We're looking at the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi, who's trying to catch up to Kyle Kraus and Sam Niederhelm in front of him, both of which who are a lap down. We still only have 9 cars left on the lead lap. Kyle Kraus is actually first car 1 lap down, so if we get another caution, he is going to be the lucky recipient of the lucky dog. There he is on screen right now, 60 car. Not that you can see the 60 on the side of the car too much. Sam Niederhelm allowing Pizzakemi through really nicely there. You see also that Pizzakemi not exactly getting on the brakes terribly hard here. Brake rotor is not blowing as much as some, a la the 66 of Sam Niederhelm. I hear what sounds like a lot of biff and barge, but probably just a little bit of net code against the walls. Looks like Pizzakemi got a little bit loose then coming out of turn 4. Couldn't quite start closing that gap to Kyle Kraus. Kyle Kraus still actually has a fairly decent car. he was on the lead lap, he'd be P6 right now. See the 66 and Sam Niederhelm behind, blinking out a little bit. We're experimenting with alternate dimensions, as I like to say. As I'm pretty sure Puzakemi hit the wall that time. Lost a lot of ground to Jonathan Hernandez behind him. Also could have blinked out a little bit. But now we're past 100 laps. Only 38 to go, 38 laps left to run. We're going to go to what is hopefully going to be our last commercial break here. When we come back, we'll be going to the checkered flag. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We are back once again for the Autism Awareness 140 here from the Richmond Raceway. And we are within the final 35 laps of this race. Christian Budd has an 8-second lead over the man on screen, Thomas Harmon. Oh, big crunchies in the wall. I think someone stopped. That might have been the 23, John Lazelle. No caution being called. He is indeed in the pits. Let's see what happened to him. See if we can get a different camera angle. Oh no, his engine blew. Luckily he made it down to the apron as to not affect the outcome of the race by bringing out another caution. That is unfortunate for the driver of the 23, John Lazelle, the sponsor of today's event. Now it's just up to the rest of the field to survive from here on out. We only have 13 cars still circulating. Mark Pentacar 4 laps down, Sam Niederhelm 2 laps down. 1 lap down each for Kyle Kraus and Frank Isaacson. And 9 cars left on the lead lap. And nearly a quarter of a lap gap between Christian Budd and Thomas Harmon. In fact, Frank Isaacson has now just gone 2 laps down. Looks like the next car in the sights of the 50 of Kyle Kraus is actually going to be the 64 of Jonas Marquez, last car on the lead lap. They have less than 30 laps to go. Not a question of can he lap the whole field, it's more of a question of does he have enough time to lap the whole field. Because we've seen him do it before. I'm sure we will possibly see him do it again. We're still focused on the 88 Jonathan Hernandez in P7. He's definitely had a fall from grace in this race. Been all the way down in the 7th position after his half spin brought out the first caution. Sounds like there's a few people getting very flirtatious with that outside wall. Including the 60 of Kyle Kraus, who's just pelted it coming out of turn 2. We still have the camera set to focus on crashes as Ken Campbell makes an overtake on Sam Niederhelm. That's not for position. Ken Campbell currently in the 8th position. $22 laps to go in this race now. It looks like mistakes are just starting to creep in for a few of these drivers. Here comes the 15 of Ken Campbell looking for an overtake on Jonathan Hernandez. How often do you hear that sentence being spoken? Hernandez tried to pin him down on the inside, couldn't get it to work. And that's going to be Campbell now up into 7th. Hernandez down to 8th. Thomas Harmon so far is going to be the hard charger with 8 positions gained. As we're in the final 20 laps. There's the 64 Jonas Marquez who's now going to lap down. He's now first car 1 lap down. Jonathan Hernandez now the last car on the lead lap. Looks like Hernandez is very struggling to keep a hold on that car. As now the 60 of Kyle Kraus runs into the outside wall. Here comes the leader, Christian Budd. He wouldn't want to see these guys going 2 by 2 through the corner. That means he'd have to wait for them to finish squabbling before he could make his move. But easily around Kyle Kraus he goes. Oh, and Jonas Marquez just about tapping the rear end of Kyle Kraus. That was some close quarters action right there. Now Jonathan Hernandez has gone a lap down. Now we only have 7 cars on the lead lap. Ken Campbell, last car on the lead lap. Jonathan Hernandez, first car 1 lap down. We've got a caution now with 15 to go. Jonathan Hernandez is in the box seat. Although I'd be questioning his tyre situation. Although I'm pretty sure he would still have at least one set left in the pits. Now getting nearer to the last 10 laps of this race. We're still focused on this little pack because Jonas Marquez and Jonathan Hernandez still racing for position here. Fucking Kyle Kraus got a little bit loose in front of Hernandez that time. Hernandez really struggling with the long run pace. And here is the battle for 8th now underway. It looks like Jonas is going to get this one pretty easily, actually. With just how much Hernandez is struggling for grip. I think Thomas Harmon and P2 starting to catch up to these guys as well. Hernandez trying to mount a fight back on Marquez. But it looks like that's going to be to no avail. He's already losing ground. And here comes Thomas Harmon now to get around Jonathan Hernandez. Again, not for position. Just because he can. As we now have 5 laps to go, we're going to keep an eye on our leader now. He's catching up to Ken Campbell, our last car on the lead lap. We know that he wants to try and put as many cars a lap down as possible. But we'll see if he's kind here to Ken Campbell. Free to go now at the line. There's definitely no one bothering Christian Budd. Has a 12.5-second lead over Thomas Harmon. Ken Campbell trying to use Brian Pizzakemi as a pit. Also, those two battling out position for P6. Pizzakemi is now the last car in the lead lap, but he's going to fight for it. Goes very deep into turn one. Going to try and turn down underneath Ken Campbell. These guys battling for position, so they're not going to give it up to Christian Budd easily. A little bit of excitement here in the final few laps, as that is race done and dusted. The 50 of Christian Budd is the winner. P2 going to go the way of Thomas Harmon. P3, the 2 of Chris Champeau. And Ken Campbell, what a drive. Was almost going a lap down for so long, and he's going to come home in P6 here as long as he doesn't get loose coming out of the final corner. That is everyone now done and dusted in this race. So it's time for Christian Budd to do some victory burnouts. All right, we're going to go to a commercial break now. When we come back, we're going to have driver interviews, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty, now it's time for our driver interviews. We're kicking things off with our third place getter here tonight, the 2 of Mr. Chris Champeau. Chris, definitely an exciting race out there tonight, mate. Great little battle between you and Thomas there, especially after that last caution. What was the race like for you, and how did the car handle?
Car handled great. I know some people had some issues with it. A couple people blew tires. I thought the car handled pretty good. We were just talking in the waiting room. During the run, I was just cranking the brake bias down to try and take the pressure off the front right. That first run, I think I had 25% left on the front right, but it didn't drive bad. It drove great. It got a little tight here and there in that first run, and then I just cranked it down faster in the second run, and I was able to keep up with Thomas for most of the run. Although I think he was saving tires as he normally does. with about 10 to go, he kind of pulled away, and then I just settled in, figured no one was going to catch me, so I just kind of cruised away.
I know that the race wasn't without issue for you as well. I noticed on the first restart, you spun your tires a little bit after getting that second place restart.
Yeah, I think when we do the pit parties, we're not always necessarily going the correct speed, and so in the pit parties in practice, uh, first gear was great. There was no issues in first gear. I was able to do it. And in the first start, in the start of the race, I was able to make first gear work great. I actually had a really good start next to Christian. But in that restart, I went to go just like I did every other time, and it just lit up the tires. And luckily, didn't kill anybody. But it was it was interesting.
All right, man. Now let's talk championship here because I'm pretty sure you've squeezed your way into the top eight, who was going to be in the chase. So, how does that feel first and foremost? Being able to battle for the championship, and then also, what's the feeling like for you next week heading into Kentucky?
Well, first part of that question, I guess, being probably in the top eight or being in the top eight, I guess, it's exciting. It's definitely fun. Knowing that we'll be, I don't know how the points work. I don't know if the points reset or what, but it'll be nice to have a nice little battle. Um, I don't know if I could win a race here in the championship run, and then if Christian could not do well in like two, we may have a shot. But I think I'm just hoping to take top three in this in the for the season in the playoffs here. So, and then going to Kentucky, I like Kentucky a lot. It's a fun track. I'm really curious how this car drives at Kentucky. Um, Kentucky is a very interesting. Uh, there's a interesting way around it. If I recall correctly, it's up against the wall, and this car can probably do that just fine. But the thing with this car is it handles great until it doesn't, and then all of a sudden it's just awful. So I could see a lot of cars going to the wall. It just becomes a gambling game. So I'll probably do some practice in the week just to see how it handles before we go there. But hopefully it'll be a good race.
All right, Chris, before we let you go here tonight, we know that you're a streamer and we know that you got a few shout outs to give out here tonight. So, first, let's get a shout out to your Twitch channel and then any other sponsor shout outs that you got.
Yeah, give the shout that we're streaming all the races live, and then I stream. Well, for sure, usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the mornings, about 9 a.m. Pacific time. Sometimes Thursday morning, but come catch us. We try to have some fun with it. And then, yeah, all the normal sponsors, Champ Speed Shop, Petrol Box, those guys. Big shouts out to them. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Chris. Congratulations on picking up P3 here at Richmond. And hopefully, some more good results coming for you in the coming weeks as we head into the chase.
Yeah, it should be fun. Looking forward to it.
All right, guys, that was our third place getter here tonight. Very well deserved as well. The two car of Mr. Chris Champo. Coming up next, we're going to have our second place getter, who is also our Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award winner. And that is, of course, the 38 car of Mr. Thomas Harmon. Thomas, there's no Avril on the car, but that didn't stop you from being fast here tonight, mate. But just didn't quite have enough for Christian Budd.
Yeah, I ran the brake bias a little too far back to have anything early run, but I could hold with him in the long run. But yeah, no ever on the car, probably for this season because she gave the sponsorship to Nerds for the remainder of the season. But yeah, the race kind of boring. Kind of ride by myself unless Chris was behind me.
Well, it definitely looked like it was a bit of a hard slog for you to begin with. Obviously, starting from down in 10th and then taking advantage of Chris actually spinning the tyres on that first restart to gain a few positions. What was the race like for you as a whole, and how did you think the car handled it?
Um, overall, I mean, I guess there was some chaos in the back. I didn't see much chaos from my seat, but the car was just wicked loose from start of run to end of the run because of how far back I had the bias. But yeah, it was just it's like driving on eggshells the way I had it set.
All right, now let's look forward into next week. We're going to be going into the start of the chase and the start of Kentucky. So, what's the feeling like for you heading into Kentucky and also being what I'm pretty sure is one of the chase drivers?
I am not a chase driver.
Really? Now, that is
Yeah,
a surprise.
I missed like 4 races. So, but yeah, it show up, drive fast, hopefully run Christian over and win.
Well, it's good to hear that you're going to be playing the part of spoiler for the race. Hopefully, things will swing in your favor in the three races and as a wild card.
Yeah, what's really gonna make me mad is if I manage to win all 3 of them or something like that.
That would be quite actually quite awesome to watch, and I look forward to seeing it. But before we let you go here tonight, Thomas, we know that you're a Twitch streamer as well, so let's get a shout out to your Twitch channel and any other shout outs you got to handle here tonight.
Yeah, shout out to my channel, twitch.tv/JohnCatWizard. Didn't stream tonight. Uh, been taking a few days off. But shout out to you up in the booth for broadcasting it to everybody, all the drivers that show up each week, all the fans that watch each week, um, and the league admins and Jaron for putting on a league.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Thomas. Congratulations on the Hard Charger Award winner and being second place as well. We look forward to seeing what you do next week when we head to Kentucky.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
All right, guys, that was our second place getter and the Hard Charger Award winner. Of course, it's the number 38 of Mr. Thomas Harmon. Coming up next, we got someone who we definitely know is in the chase for the championship, and he'd definitely be very excited to get a win here at the short track. And yeah, just an all-round good guy, of course. Number 50 of Christian Budd. Christian, great race from you out there. Absolutely dominant start to finish. And it looked like, you handled the wheel spin on the restarts absolutely perfectly, mate.
Yeah, I didn't really notice any. But fortunately, when you're the leader and you get to control the start, you can kind of make sure you're really nice and straight before you hammer it. So, pretty smooth day all in all. Fortunately, relatively few cautions and kind of was able to just get out there and drive.
And drive you did. How did the car handle over the whole run? Because you're in clear air for a lot of it, and then entering lap traffic, must have raised a little bit of how's it going with the way that this car handles in traffic.
Yeah, I thought the set was pretty pushy in the center, um, which which I would have preferred to just rolled center a little bit better. Um, so because of that, it was wearing the right front a bit. I think I had a 50% on the right front and 70% on the right rear after that pit stop midway through the race. And then actually, yeah, the in lap traffic, there's arrow push, even at a short track like Richmond. So um, fortunately, I didn't have to contend with a whole lot there, but it definitely would have been hard to pass if you know I'd had to work my way back up through or something like that.
All right, now let's look forward to the next 3 weeks and next week in particular. It's going to be the chase for the championship. You, of course, in the top 8 in points. So, what's the feeling like for you heading into the chase and heading into Kentucky to kick off the 3 rounds of the chase?
Um, well, Kentucky's an unknown. I don't know what the setup's going to be like or anything like that. If that track is like Homestead, I'll probably enjoy that quite a bit. If it's like Vegas or Chicago, it's more like a plate track and a little bit more out of your hands. So we'll just have to see what happens there. Um, New Hampshire should be similar to Richmond here, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. And then Michigan's going to basically be Daytona. Yeah. So two of the three races are kind of wild cards, and it's obviously been a really good season to this point for me. But the championship's really probably going to be decided by who doesn't wreck, and not crashing your car in those races is going to be the most important thing.
Well, that's exactly right. Consistency is key, and if you're winning every race, well, then you're pretty damn consistent. Am I right?
That's the easiest way to do it.
All right, mate. Well, before we let you go, we know that you are sometimes a Twitch streamer. So let's get a shout out to your Twitch channel and then any other shout outs you got to handle here tonight.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Christian Bud. When my internet ever gets a little faster and it doesn't affect my racing, I will definitely fire that back up. But kind of just letting it go for now, just because a little bit of latency issues and stuff like that. But of course, Output Racing, all the guys who show up. Just 3 races left with this car, and for the people watching, if you're looking for a league, they'll be starting a new season. I guess in January, I think. Um, or February. I'm not really sure because I think there's a winter season. But anyway, point is, if you're looking for somewhere to race, this is a good place to race. It's a lot of fun, and they'll be switching cars here. So I don't know what they're going to run here next, but they always do that. So it's always a good time, and then you get to check it all out on the Aussie Sim Commentator. So appreciate you doing all the broadcasting, everything. A lot of fun to go back and relive these.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, man. And thank you for kissing my ass so thoroughly every time you come in for an interview. I very much really appreciate that. And good luck for the chase. Can't wait to see what you can do at the 3 tracks we have on offer.
Yeah, definitely. Do appreciate it.
All right, guys. So that was our winner tonight. Of course, one of the front runners heading into the chase, Mr. Christian Budd. But that is going to end off our broadcast for today. I'd like to thank you all for coming out. It's been an absolutely fantastic day of racing, and we look forward to seeing you all next week when we start the chase for the championship at the Kentucky Speedway. Till then, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and we'll see you next week.